And away we go. It is the Nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com. You know the drill, www.galacticfriedchicken.com to download the app for Android, iPhone, everything Galactic. Go to the app. They will deliver right to your front door, pretty much anywhere inside the 275 loop. Or go down to Dayton, Kentucky. Tell them to pump it up. Save yourself 15% off of the Galactic goodness. Get you some tendies. Get you some fried chicken, some fries, some coleslaw, fried pickles, and, of course, some of that delicious, out-of-this-world Galactic sauce. All right, Aaron.
Oh,
wrong button. Wrong button.
I'm slacking
go.
tonight.
You okay?
I'm a ball of nerves right now. It's fine.
It's a big night for us. We teased it a little bit this week. We said make sure you tune in to the show Thursday, because we had a big announcement. It's time for the big announcement. Welcome to the newest member of the Bearcat Journal team, my longtime friend, a mentor, someone that has been invaluable in the growth of Bearcat Journal over the years, none other than the legendary George Vogel. George, welcome to the team.
Great to be here, and you're way too kind. Way too kind. I didn't know you were that good of a drummer either. That was a good intro there with the drum roll.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done.
I played a little drums at Lloyd Memorial High School, who last I checked were up 21-7 on the Newport Catholic Thoroughbreds.
Wow.
That's
the showcase game tonight. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
high school football is underway. Good for the Jugs.
It's exciting. It's 24-7 juggernauts in the fourth quarter. So
just clamp down and bring it on home, baby, with that defense.
We don't beat Newcath very often. So
no, that has been for a long time.
Well, let's address the first order of business. What the hell is George doing here? So we had an opening on Tuesday nights for our All Cincinnati Sports podcast. And George and I have been in talks on a podcast. We've been in negotiations on a podcast since 2005.
Probably. It's been forever. It's been forever. We thought we were going to get it together, and we thought, we might be able to do something through the vein where I was employed at WLWT. And finally, it's happened. Hopefully, it's worth the wait.
You're out of their umbrella, so we will be debuting that here in a couple weeks, so keep your eyes peeled. Aaron and George are going to be running the show. I'll be popping in as the dad schedule allows. Tuesday nights, luckily, Tuesday nights are not a game night for the Summit View Royals, so I should be around to pop in and chime in and discuss all the things Bengals, Reds, Bearcats, FC Cincinnati. George, there's only one stipulation. We just don't talk Xavier here.
Oh, is that right? That's the first thing I was going to talk about.
Well, that's not true because I wouldn't have hired you.
Tom Miller's roster. No. On Tuesday nights, Aaron, we'll let Chad join us, right?
We'll see. He likes to make sure that he's the loudest voice in the room sometimes. So
and I will not be the loudest voice in the room with George here.
Well, I don't know. I don't have much of a voice right now. I've been battling a cold or something all week. So, I got the hot toddy to try to get me through this, man.
I was asked tonight. I told our mutual friend, Dan Klaskins, his daughter plays at the school Kelsey was playing against today. Dan's daughter plays for. And I told him, and he said, well, as long as you got George with a bourbon and a cigar, he's in heaven.
Yeah, I don't smoke in the house, but I got this.
There you go.
Same, George, same.
There we go. The Troika.
There we go.
Six-pack right there, baby.
So look forward to that coming up on Tuesday nights. I am super excited. I've always enjoyed being on Sports Rock when we did that back in the day. And George and I I've been very lucky to consider him a friend for a long time, and now we get to work together finally. And instead, I turned the show over to Aaron. So.
Yeah, well, you're too kind though, and I appreciate you having me. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll bang around everything that's going on in Cincinnati, everything east and west and north and south of Victory Parkway. We'll leave that little part out, right?
They can do their own show. That's what Rick and Skinny do. We don't, that's their lane. We'll just let them keep
Okay,
it.
I'll leave that to them then. But yeah, it'll be fun. I mean, it gives me an avenue because obviously I'm just laying around, doing nothing all day. So it gives me a purpose.
Chad,
There you
maybe we should give George the team ticker that Dave refuses to hang up on his wall.
You want a team ticker?
Absolutely.
Those things are pretty sweet, aren't they?
Yeah, I like them.
We gave Dave one and he just won't hang it up because he said he doesn't have electricity close enough to the spot that he does shows. So.
Yeah, I'll make it work. So I got enough extension cords in this house. I mean, I got them running here, there. And you know how old guys are, man. We just run extension cords.
So the good news is one of the reasons that we picked today as the debut and the chance to announce George joining the team is that George was at Higher Ground today. And it was closed to the media. It was open to big timers like George Vogel.
You're right. I had to tag along with my son.
Your son was the big timer, and that goes back. I remember the days that you were paying for his Bearcat Journal subscription.
That's true. That is true. That
you probably still are.
One of his Christmas presents. I might be. I haven't checked to see if that's coming out of the checking account. Those recurring subscriptions, they get me every time.
Well, you let me know, and you're staff now, so I can comp you.
Okay, all right. All right, yeah, but Higher Ground was fantastic, and I got to say, great for UC to have the UCATs out there and do what they did. They addressed some things that were going on with the Big 12, with the program. The AD, John Cunningham, was out at a Big 12 meeting today. All of the Big 12 athletic directors that will be in the conference next year when the other 4 join. All 16 of those ADs met today down in Texas and, just laying it down more groundwork for moving the Big 12 forward. And they feel like they're on solid ground. And so that was the first order of business. It was really a cool deal out there. Took us into the dining room, talked about all the things going on with NIL, the program, where they stand financially, what's going on with the Big 12. And everything's pushing forward for UC. And it's really, it's unbelievable they're in this position. We all know what it was like when the Big East folded and, they had a seat at the table and didn't. And now to have it back, you never want to let that go again. You want to make sure you just keep pushing and pushing because God only knows what's coming in the next 5 or 6 years.
Silver anniversary for Higher Ground this year. And you've seen 25 years now of Cincinnati being at Higher Ground. What's it been like to watch the development from where it came from 25 years ago to where it is now?
It's crazy because when it first happened, it was Rick Minner. And I guess he saw what the band was doing there. And he thought, well, that's kind of cool that the band goes off and does their own thing for a few days at this camp. And so he said, I need to try this. So he decided to take the football team out there. And then, it started, they may have done a week. Whittekamp would know for sure because he set it all up. But, then Brian Kelly saw it and said, man, we need to be out here more and more. And it developed into what it is today. And the facility is unbelievable. And, it's great. They have everything they need there. And it's surrounded by trees, all 4 sides. There's trees everywhere. It's just like you're dropped in the middle of nowhere. And all you do is football and team bond and that kind of stuff. And I think it's terrific. And obviously it works when you see the parallel of going to Higher Ground and the success of the program. I mean, it's kind of simple to put it that way, but that's got to be one of the factors. And obviously, Brian Kelly thought it was one of the factors because he tried to steal the place for Notre Dame. I think Kerry Combs tried to help steal it for Ohio State. And God bless the people out there. They stuck with the Bearcats. They said, no, this is our first priority. If UC leaves, okay, maybe, but UC wasn't going to leave it. And those people were going to let UC, get overrun by somebody else. And so kudos to that staff out there and what they've done. And man, Satterfield was talking today about it, Coach Satterfield. He seems to be a believer in it now and what they've done, going through it for his first time.
That's my favorite part, George. We've seen so many coaches go through this, and that before they spend a day out there, they're skeptical, and then they're
Yep.
like, I don't know about this. I want to be back on campus. I want to have our offices and our film rooms and da 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 da.
Right.
And then they spend about 2 days out there, and they're like, I don't want to go home.
Yeah. This is a good way to build a team. And there's some things that NFL teams used to do that all the time. Now a lot of them do, like the Bengals, and hold it at their facility where everything is. That makes sense, but also, and they were talking about this today, about you go out there and you're housing these guys together. I remember Sam Weiss did this one year at Wilmington, and Wilmington was as Spartan as it gets for an NFL training camp. And one year he's like, I'm going to make sure offensive players room with defensive players, and these guys that are the pretty boys room with the rough guys. And it was just, he mixed it all up, and it worked. That team, that 88, 89, 90 run that they had going on there was one of the tightest knit groups that you'll ever have. And that's kind of what Coach Satterfield was doing this year out at Higher Ground, making sure guys who don't, work out with each other, or maybe they're not in the same clique, mash those cliques together, break them up, and make everybody get to know everybody. And pretty soon you got a really tight knit group. And I think that's what they've done this year, because they had a lot of new guys to mix in. I think they said they had like 40 new guys on the roster.
So you were there for practice today.
Yep.
What did you get to see? What were you looking for? I guess first and foremost, what were you looking to see? Is this the first visit that you've had this season?
My first visit this year. I'll be honest. I'll just straight up say it. I wanted to see Evan Prater play wide receiver and see what that looked like. And look, we know how gifted that kid is. And I got to give him all the credit in the world. Last year, he's got this, shoulder that's apparently banged up, and things didn't go well at the quarterback position as he would like, or anybody would like. But he didn't moan and groan and use an excuse or anything. Stays with the team, switches position, and he looked darn good today. I mean, there was a pass in the flat, and it was coming right at me, and that ball could have been picked. And a lot of guys will sit and wait on that ball when they're sitting out there. He came back to it, and he caught the ball and saved what could have been a batted down ball or a pick. He made a couple of contested catches. He looked really good playing that position. I was really pleased to see Evan do that. And I thought early in practice, all the wide receivers looked really, really good. Then when they got into that 11 on 11, and you got those big boys up front mixed in, I thought the DBs, they looked really good. Some of it was them. Some of it was that rush up front. But, I went out there to see what Prater looked like at wide receiver, and also to see if that defense, can be as good as I think it can be. And my God, they had a good day today.
I think that's kind of been the story, though, this season thus far, is the fact that we had one receiver left in the receiver room. The receivers have looked good, and yet somehow the defense has also looked good. Traditionally, it's been the defense taking off and kind of the offense having to play catch up throughout all of camp. And this year, I feel like it's been not even, but closer than what it's been in years past. And I agree with you as far as the defense looking really good, but also the receivers looking good in that same vein.
Yeah, they looked really good early on, and in many of the drills. And, I was impressed with a lot of those guys. Go right on down the list. They all look good. I'm not allowed to say Xavier. Xavier. He looked good.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He looked good. Chris Scott made some catches. He made probably what would have been the catch of the day until Luke Kandra got a reception on a batted pass, which was the funniest thing of practice. And this was towards the end. And, the defensive line gets in there and bats a pass up in the air, and it goes about 5 yards. And then out of the middle of the scrum, Luke Kandra catches that thing and starts going off to the races, baby. It was funny. The players were laughing. I think he was laughing. The fans there were laughing. That was the funniest moment of the day. And I got to give the big man credit. He had a chance to eat, and he did.
I did see a play by Deshaun Pace with an interception today that the staff was calling the play of the day today.
I was going to get to him next. 2 great picks.
You guys are on a roll. I'm just going to watch.
Where did he go?
He said we were on a roll. He's going to watch.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Yeah, Deshaun, he had 2 or 3 interceptions on the day. One down by the goal line was just a terrific pick by him. Great play. And then the other one, he comes out of nowhere and he's gone. That would have been probably a 60-yard return for a touchdown. Great play. I know you guys do that due to the day thing and all that, and that would have been the due to the day today. I mean, that kid's everywhere and a lot of fun to watch. But I was impressed with a lot of guys. I saw Antoine Peak Jr. make a great play on a ball too. Talk about coming out of nowhere. There was a ball, and I'm like, well, that's complete. Nope. Here comes a missile coming across the field, bats it away. That was a great play. It was a lot of fun out there and a lot of good things to see. You're hesitant because it's your team going against your team, and you don't know exactly who's, is it good that these things are happening? Is it bad? You don't know but it's just great to see guys flying around and make plays. And I think that's maybe the most important thing I saw is that was all over the place.
Was Emery back today, or was it still Brady Lichtenberg?
Emery came back. He practiced for the first hour, and then they shut him down. He had that tooth extraction or something. It didn't look like anything else was wrong with him. And I got to say, he looked the part, man. He looked really good. He threw some really nice deep balls. Looked like he was in command. He looks the part. We'll see when the real stuff starts flying, but he looked really good for the hour he was out there today.
Did you get a chance to see Brady Drogosh?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm telling you what, impressive. Very impressive. Mm-hmm. And when they got in that 11 on 11 at the end, and the defensive line was, causing issues, he brought a couple of runs out of there that would have been long gains, if not the distance. He's got some athletic ability, and he can throw the ball too. I was really impressed seeing him for the first time in that kind of an environment where they're going after it, and he looked really good.
From what you've been able to see, do you think that he's going to be running for his life this season, or is it going to be kind of a what kind of faith are you putting in the offensive line, I guess?
I'm going to put a little in there. They're going up against what's going to be the best defensive line in the conference, probably. I really do believe that. My God, not only are the frontline guys good, they've got depth. They got a lot of guys that they can rotate in and out of there and keep people fresh. They're going to be a load for everybody to deal with, I think. You know what they have coming back. So I'm hopeful for the offensive line. I hope it's not a situation where he's running for his life. I don't think it will be. I think given what they brought in, I mentioned Kandra, they brought in some guys to help fortify that offensive line. And I think they'll get it together. I don't think it's going to be a jailbreak every play, every game. But they are going to have to, and I think everyone looks for improvement every time you go out to the practice field. They're going to have to improve as they go along, but I think they will. I think they've got enough talented guys to make something out of it.
What was your biggest surprise today? Biggest takeaway, I guess.
Biggest takeaway, biggest surprise. I would say, I tell you what, it shouldn't be a surprise, but just the way Evan Prater played wide receiver and the instincts already that are there. Like I mentioned, that ball that he came back to on that out pass, that a lot of guys would have just sat there, and he didn't. His instincts looked really, really good at that position. I thought that was impressive. I thought, I'll tell you, we saw this when the kid played some last year, and I know you guys saw it in spring ball, but Miles Montgomery, if you give him a step, it's gone. And he had a couple of those today. He had a couple where, he got a step, a little crack at the line, and it's like, boom.
See ya.
He's got jets. So that was pretty impressive. I just, it was good to see. It was good to see the defensive play the way they did. Probably the second funniest moment outside of Kandra's catch was the defensive coordinator, Brian Brown. The stands are there, and there's a long pass play, and the defender breaks it up, and you hear the crowd like going, oh, like that, like a disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes over to the stands like that. He goes, no, that wasn't all. That was, come on, yeah, great play. He's like, that was a great play by the defense. I want to hear some cheers. That was funny. That was funny. He played to the crowd a little bit there. So, but I'll tell you what surprised me too was at the beginning of practice. I've seen a lot of practices. I've seen a lot of up tempo. I have never seen the lightning these guys were going at the beginning of practice where they came out and started running plays. And you couldn't keep up with it. It's like, my God, they're snapping the ball again. I mean, they were getting up there and moving quick. And I don't know if they were working on hurry up there or what, but that was impressive.
There's no wasted time in a Scott Satterfield practice. Yeah. None whatsoever.
It was amazing. And it's like a period ends, the song changes, and they know to go. And it was really interesting. They packed a lot in. It was about 2 hours, and they packed a lot into it.
So did they feed you at Higher Ground? And if so, what did you get to eat today?
Well, they did before. We didn't stay after, but we did before. I mean, there were good donuts. They had a lot of donuts. When we got there at 9 o'clock, there were a lot of donuts.
Did you get a chance to catch up with Kerry Combs?
No, he was all over the place, though. I did not.
He usually is.
Yeah, I mean, oh God, he's the first guy you see when you walk up to the practice field, right?
Right.
He's good. He's good with those players. Sammy Anderson made some good plays, and then 2 minutes later, there's Kerry in his ear. You're better than that. You shouldn't have done. You should have been. I mean, he's all over it. I'm thinking this kid's having a pretty good practice, but it wasn't good enough. And that's what makes these guys get better. You got to have, a coach in their ear doing that. And boy, if somebody can get in your ear, it's Kerry.
Chad, if you're still around, if you got anything left for George here, I feel bad asking him any more questions. I don't want to be the one who kills his voice. So
yeah, I know I am struggling. I got to take a little more hot toddy.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Like you guys, so just so everybody's clear, the show is going to be Aaron and George with a little bit of me maybe sprinkled in, and you guys were rolling. So I just wanted to let you guys,
just got a little preview.
Yeah, a little preview. Get your work in. Get your preseason reps in.
Give us a leash.
This is the first time that we've talked.
I want to make sure I got all the linebacker from Louisville, Dorian Jones, right?
Dorian Jones, yeah.
Oh my God. He had a hit over the middle on a short pass to Corey Kiner, and he lit him up pretty good. But if this would have been like live action, the man brought the freaking leather on that play. I'll tell you that.
He did the same thing during the scrimmage too.
Yeah, that's one thing on this defense is if you try to spread them out and run short game, you're going to incur a lot of pain because Deshaun Pace loves blowing up screens. Yeah. And Dorian Jones loves blowing up little guys coming over the middle.
Well, they did a lot of interesting stuff where they did these, third down situations. And some of it was third and short, and then they would go fourth. And there was no running on that defense really for the most part. I mean, every now and then they might pop one, but boy, we talked about that line and that front seven's looking really, really good. That's a positive. That's where it all starts. We all know that.
Yeah. I don't really have anything else. I'm just really, really excited to have George on the team. I've waited a long, long time for this. He was the biggest free agent in the market. We went out and got him.
It's an honor, a privilege, and something I'm really looking forward to, getting to develop our working relationship and a show together. So,
yeah, we'll have a lot of fun. We got a lot to talk about. I mean, this city's on fire with the Bengals and what's expected there. UC going into the Big 12, and then we'll see what the old Redlegs can do down the stretch. I mean, they're still in it.
Who knows?
It's been a little rocky here lately, but they still are in position to make some noise.
All right, you get those hot toddies rolling and get yourself ready for about a week and a half from now when we get kicked off.
Amen, man. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me, and we'll have a lot of fun.
All right, that's going to wrap it up. Thanks to George Vogel, newest member of the team. We'll see you next time. This is the Nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!